Hello, I'm Antonia Singut, and this is Profile PNG. For over 50 years, they've suffered a silent struggle. But in recent times, the plight of the people of West Papua has become known to the world. With their recent application to join the Melanesian Spearhead Group, this could provide hope for their future. For over 50 years, the people of West Papua have been forced to silence about their suffering and fight for freedom. Perhaps this is why Papua New Guineans respond like this when asked about their neighbors across the border.
Struggles and the fights and whatever is happening on the other side of the border, people who are dying and Indonesian people, soldiers killing them and all that, you don't know.
No idea at all.
Okay, isa lusat mal maninga. But you know solo beni Wenda.
Sorry, I don't know anything about it, so I can't comment on it.
This is the first time that I've heard about the problems of West Papua. I do not know. I have not been in Papua very long.
You know, worry lol, 90 mil outside the sometimes stuff, maybe no more.
But the struggles of PNG's Melanesian brothers and sisters across the border could not be more real today than it was before. Over half a century of suffering has been met with a spark of hope that could slowly lead to the self-determination West Papuans have fought for. When West Papua was raised on the agenda of the 2013 Melanesian Spearhead Group MSG Leaders Meet, this brought new hope. 3 historical decisions were made.
As a result, in MSC leaders meetings in 2013, the leaders make 3 historical decisions. One is the leaders recognize our inalienable right for self-determination. The second is the leaders recognize the human rights violation that committed by Indonesia, and therefore the leader decide that each country have to raise this issue in their bilateral relation. The third was about our application to MSG. It was postponed because of the Fiji government proposed that will be decided after the foreign minister delegation to visit to West Papua as a fact-finding mission. After the mission come back, the Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, Peter O'Neill, lead the meeting here in Port Moresby to talk about the decision. And on the decision, Prime Minister O'Neill suggests us that our application is still alive. Therefore, he suggests to first reapply the membership. And then before that reapplication, we also asked to unify ourselves.
It was through this reapplication to join the MSG, with the funding assistance of the Vanuatu government, the United Liberation Movement of West Papua, ULMWP, was formed as the only umbrella institution at the forefront of West Papua's liberation movement. The main priority of this organization is to apply for membership into the MSG. After gaining full support of other Melanesian countries, Vanuatu and Solomon Islands, members of ULMWP journeyed to gather support from their closest neighbor, Papua New Guinea, in joining the MSG.
It's Vanuatu. It's 100% really supportive, and also Solomon Islands, they are really supportive. Fijian people are already rise up and they added their voice. But at government level, I'm confident that they will welcoming us in the member of the MSC. And Papua New Guinea, I'm sure all the people are already supportive, so I'm really confident. This year, I hope we become member of Melanesian Spear Group, and I need really people out there to support and pray. We, West Papua, now trying to lobby all the rest of the Melanesia country, including Papua New Guinea, and we have because we form the United Liberation Movement, bring everybody, all the West Papua group in exile or inside, all the faction becoming a united voice to bring ourselves to Melanesia, because 50 years we live in Indonesia, but the only Indonesia response is they look at us as different. We are Melanesia, and the 53 years Indonesia been massacred, my people. 500,000 men and women has been killed. That's why better we come back to our root, back to our Melanesia family rather than live in Indonesia. That's the idea, that we need to come back to Melanesia seeking support, particularly Papua New Guinea, because we really need the Papua New Guinea brother and sister, and from the government level, the people and village level, we really need you, because we are Melanesia. There's only the border separate one another. Before European put this border, we are one, one Tumbuna, one ancestor, one ground, one land. That's why we are really confident that I'm coming back to seeking help in my homeland. This is Nigini, this is my land.
Yang benar adalah kita tidak pernah berada di dalam negara kesatuan Indonesia. Oleh karena itu kita tidak perlu keluar dari sana. Tidak boleh ada istilah-istilah itu lagi. Karena tidak ada sejarah mencatat bahwa bangsa Papua pernah ada di dalam negara kesatuan Indonesia.
But at the moment, we want to join the Melanesia Spear Group as a family, The family need to lead this issue, take up this issue, because the West Papua issue is a Melanesian issue, is a regional issue. This issue never away from the Melanesian eye, or Papua New Guinea, or Solomon, or Fijian, or Kanak, or Vanuatu. This issue is already here, right here. So at the same time, they need to talk about the human rights situation, Indonesia treatment toward West Papuan people. At the moment, Indonesia trying to cut off from the rest of the brother and sister. They don't want to West Papua issue bring to the Melanesia family. They don't want that. But now, through this Melanesia Spear Group, we can talk openly. That's one thing. That's human right angle. But politically, people of West Papua desire independence. That's why they are fighting for independence. One thing that as soon as West Papua become a member of the Melanesia Spear Group, West Papua will bring the biggest contribution to Melanesia Spear Group. And that's that we really hope. Because West Papua become member of Melanesia, that means West Papua offer everything that we have. We work together as a partner, as a Melanesia family, and throughout the world. And then also Indonesia. We will be good neighbor with Indonesia one day.
This, amongst other priorities, was one of the reasons why West Papua independence leader Benny Wenda visited PNG on Tuesday, the 24th of March 2015.
We have the moral obligation to speak for those who are not allowed to talk. We must be the eyes for those who are blindfolded. Again, Papua New Guinea as a regional leader, we must take the lead in having mature discussions with our friends, and more so in an engaging manner.
Just want to thank you to people of Papua New Guinea and also the government, particularly Prime Minister, because last month, a few months ago, he talked about West Papua as a West Papua now it's a family issue.
A final decision of West Papua's application into the MSG will be made at the Leaders Summit in July this year.
Of February in Melanesia Spear Group, we already applied, and now I hope that in sometime early July, all the Melanesian leader will, summit in Honiara. We really hope, confident that they're welcoming us into the Melanesia family.
Mr. Wenda hopes that the day West Papua is finally free and independent, it may become a federated state of Melanesia. Hello and welcome back to Profile PNG. We continue our segment talking to West Papua independence leader and spokesperson for the United Liberation Movement for West Papua, Benny Wenda.
When I was in West Papua, because I grew up with this issue when I was my childhood until I grew up, even I went to university, I studied. One thing that bring me memory when I was child in the mountain, I come from mountain in Wamena, so I always trying to understand how to gardening, how to make bow and arrow, and how to build a garden. That's the one memory I remember. But since then, the terrible thing happened in my village, and my auntie was raped in front of my eye. That's changed everything, and I was grow up 5 years in the bush. My village was bombed. My leg was broken. That is from the happiest memory, and become a dark memory until today. I still carry on, and that is my sentiment. Will grow up to fight this struggle. It's not about something that make me become famous, but no. But people of West Papua cry. I am a part of that. I grow up with that. So that's why I just want to see the people in the West Papua sit down with the family, having tea, like other brothers, fellow Melanesians, particularly in Papua New Guinea. We don't have any freedom. You go out there, you have a beer, or you have a rasta, or they will beat you. If you don't have any identity, they beat you up. So I want to see one day these people are smile. They go to the mountain without any fear. Go to the fishing without any intimidation. Go to church. Current, sometime all these pastors go to the church. Sometime pastor been killed. Our church burned down. And people go to the fishing. Sometime intimidation, torture, in prison. That is happening until today. This is still happening right now. While I'm talking, 3 days ago, one Papua was killed, 3 men are still injured. Just collecting the money for the Vanuatu disaster. This is happening right now. This is not about collecting money for independent movement. Just collecting money for supporting the fellow Melanesia who are hit by a cyclone in Vanuatu, also been killed. That's why this fight is in my life to free people of West Papua. From the beginning, I didn't know why I'm in the bush, why I didn't know until I went to high school. Then one time, I went, teacher, this is first beginning into the class, and then everybody does. So we West Papuan, few West Papuan, and the Javanese girl. And teacher told me, Benny, you grab that chair, sitting next to that girl, and then I, happily to hold my books and, sitting next to this girl. And then before I put my books, and I just smile to her, make sure she's welcoming me. And then she look at me, and then she spit my face, and I just wiped my face, and I thought maybe I'm smell, or maybe I didn't wash my body, maybe it smell very strange, maybe that's why she look at that way, or maybe I'm come from the highlands, so I'm, they look at as a village man. So that's my feeling. What happened, as soon as I left the school, next morning I went to the shop and I bought the soap, and I washed 3 times, make sure. Yesterday I was mad. I went in the class and same table, and I put my books, and then I smiled to her, make sure, yes, I'm confident. Then she stood up and she spit my face 2nd time. I wiped my face, and then everybody in the class are laughing at me. Then I banged the table, look, I told her I have a 5 finger, I'm a human being. Whatever you call me, I try my best to clean, but I'm a black, I'm a Papuan. Whatever you call me, you primitive or savages or whatever, Stone Age man, this is who I am. I think that's the first time my sentiment will grow up. And then I look back, why they look at that way. I think that opened my eye. How they call us a Papuan Iranians citizen of Indonesia, but why they treat like that? And then I remember what happened in my auntie was raped in front of my eye. When I was 4 or 5 years. Then how was Papua become part of Indonesia? That's I'm beginning to understand. Then I went to university. First did what I did. How was Papua become part of Indonesia? There is no books or any written in the library. I couldn't find it. So that's I trying to find out. I couldn't find it until I came out and I found all the our history through the Google, and you cannot find Indonesia until today. All Indonesia all the books are banned. If you write all Papuan academic writing a book about West Papua, all banned, seized by Indonesian law. For example, Reverend Socrates Sofian Yoman, head of the Baptist Church, he written many books, including West Papua history, that are seized by Indonesian law. Few books, few academic. So we don't have any freedom to tell our story. I left West Papua 2003. I was in prison, and I was managed to escape because Indonesia want to kill me in prison. Many leaders before me was killed, assassinated in prison or poisoned in prison. Like Tais Eloy, one of the great leaders, was assassinated by Indonesia Special for 2001. 2002 they target me, they put me in prison, and they torture. I will show you this is what they did. You can see this torture. I have a lot of chains. You've been leader. Is it dead or you alive or dead? And I've been in court 14 times, no weakness. What my crime is, they're just trying to put me in prison because I'm a leader of the people, trying to leading. And I'm well educated by Indonesia University, and they know that. That's why they're trying to stop me. And then they want to kill me. I managed to escape. So now I'm exiled in the United Kingdom. From there, I formed the Free West Papua campaign to educate the world to understand about why West Papua is fighting for independence. I'm also witness. I'm talking about myself, my experience. I'm not copy other people, but this is what I've been through from the childhood until I grow up. Even I'm internationally, Indonesia put international arrest warrant, trying to hunting me down everywhere. I'm not stealing Indonesia islands, or I'm not talking Indonesia. This is my land. This is Nigini. I'm talking about Nigini. This is my land. This is my ancestor land. I want to reclaim back. This is my land. For example, in Europe or in the UK, if I explain West Papua, Papua New Guinea, you got independent, what are you talking about? No, I said, this is West Papua, Papua New Guinea independent country. West Papua is a Dutch New Guinea. So now currently occupied by Indonesia. And why you don't know? Because of media are banned by Indonesia. That's why you don't know. Our history never recorded, because Indonesia just cover up everything. So then they understand. Then I try to explain the map, Papua New Guinea and West Papua. Then they understand. I always say Indonesia treat my people differently because they are looking at we are colony. They are colony. They treat the people of West Papua differently. A second-class citizen, a subhuman. That's my response, because Indonesia, they call us same time, look at us a citizen, equal citizen, but then same time they're killing us, like animals, This is 53 years, 500,000 men and women has been killed. No one, that's why I call secret genocide committed by Indonesian government, Indonesian military until today. If they're confident, if they promote democracy, then let the journalists come in, let the NGO come in. That is my argument until today.
Thanks for staying with us on Profile PNG. In this segment, we take a look at the outcome of Benny Wenda's visit to PNG. Benny Wenda arrived in PNG 5 days ago on March 24th with a mission, but his trip was cut unexpectedly short after he faced issues entering the country.
Also, same time, I trying to brief what happened in Vanuatu because 2015 last year we had a group called United Liberation Movement in Vanuatu, support by Vanuatu government. So that's partly I want to discuss with the government. But as soon as I arrived in airport, I didn't know it's something that immigration. Look at my passport and there's something misinformation. I don't know. I landed 1 o'clock until I think about 5 hours in the airport, and now I'm still in the hand of the immigration at the moment. But I think my feeling is it's a misunderstanding or something. But I'm not blame anyone. But I just follow the procedure, and because I'm coming home, so I'm not foreigner. This is my homeland. That's why I feel confident that this is I am now.
The day after this interview, Benny Wenda was instructed by immigration to leave PNG immediately.
Okay. Give us the reason why it's going to be deported now. Our custom government don't have a real military. You don't know what it is. What is the reason? What is the reason of being deported now?
But I'm respect the law here, and I'm respect. I will leaving today, but my spirit and the struggle is already in the Papua New Guinea struggle. It's not West Papua struggle anymore, and this is Papua New Guinea struggle. It's Melanesia struggle. So I'm going. Even they deport me, but this is not only first time. We also Indonesia occupied, and now I'm exiled. So today I'm coming home, but now I'm deported. That means, I leave this country, but my spirit and the struggle, I will leave it with the people of Papua New Guinea today. So this is your struggle. It's not Benny Wenda's struggle, but people of West Papua and Papua New Guinea or entire Melanesia struggle. So I will coming back. This is my land. Sorong to Samarai is my land.
There were many PNG citizens who had a lot to say about Benny Wenda's sudden departure from the country.
The government is saying another thing we are supporting the cause. And now we are doing another thing by deporting somebody. What's that? Contradicting what the government is saying. So he should be brought back to where he belongs to. He should be given free access to do what in Papua New Guinea because in Papua New Guinea there. Very upset by island believe me. So you need to give me some of the more now. Then you need to go out now. I don't know. What are we trying to protect? It's Indonesia putting a threat to us. Or if we have broken the bilateral agreements that we used to have with Indonesia, then the government has said it, that we will support the Indonesians, not Indonesians but the West Papuans, and the course that they are doing.
I think PNG has to be at the back of West Papua. Those people who were responsible, I think they did not do that well. I think there are some personal issues. Otherwise, generally, Papua New Guineans, we support OPM. We shouldn't be deported.
I think it's government and the immigration officers that are doing their job. So no say on that.
With the case of our brother here, Benny Wenda, the advocate of Free West Papua, coming here and just deported, we are very sad to leave our brother go. But unfortunately, he has gone due to some missteps here with foreign immigration law.
The exact reason surrounding Benny Wenda's immediate departure from PNG remains unclear. However, in correspondence between NCD Governor Powes Pakop and Head of Immigration Mataya Rabura, it was stated that Mr. Wenda was placed on an alert list prohibiting his access into PNG. The question of whether he was deported or not is yet to be answered. Profile PNG's attempts to get comments from Prime Minister Peter O'Neill and Foreign Affairs Minister Rimbing Pato is still ongoing. However, while they are yet to respond, our questions are yet to be answered. Why was Benny Wenda instructed to leave PNG immediately?
And who was it that placed him on that alert list? Could this be a question of our sovereignty as a nation? Profile PNG's invitation to answer these questions on camera still remains open.
My message to people of West Papua, you are not alone, and your brother and sister, Papua New Guinea and Cross Melanesia with you. That's my confidence. I'm really confidently tell you that people are now, especially the young generation, are stand up with you. That you are not alone. So please stay strong, and you will be free one day.
Kududuk sambil merenung di sanalah numbai negeriku yang ku cinta. Kapan ku lihat kembali.
That ends another edition of Profile PNG. Once our questions surrounding Benny Wenda's sudden departure from PNG are answered, we'll provide you an update to this episode. Until then, thanks for your company. Good night.